Okay, y'all, so I wanted to get on here and talk about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion, honey. I've been waiting ever since Will Smith posted this picture of them, all the cast members from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He posted a picture on his Instagram showing that they had a reunion special coming up on HBO Plus. Honey, I was here for it. Anybody who knows me personally knows that I'm a big Will Smith fan and that I love Fresh Prince. When Fresh Prince used to be on TV, like back in the day, when I was in middle school, I would record every single episode of that show. I had VHS tapes stacked up against the wall up high of all the episodes that I recorded. That's how much I used to love Fresh Prince and Will Smith. So when I saw that they were doing a 30-year reunion special, I was so excited. So it premiered last night, but I didn't get to watch it until today because I got home late. I didn't want to download and watch the show and fall asleep on it. So I went ahead and just waited the extra day, and I watched it today while I was at work. Shh, don't tell nobody. All right, so oh my gosh, y'all, it was a good reunion. It was so good. It was so good. It was emotional. It was everything. So I don't have subscription to HBO Plus, so what I did was download it and I subscribed to the free trial so I could watch the episode. So it just basically, all the cast came back together. You know, Uncle Phil passed away in 2013, and it was just so emotional about, you know, him not being there. And they did this it was just so nice how they did the remembrance of him and everything. So they basically explained how the show started, how Will Smith got the show. He basically was approached by Benny Medina and Quincy Jones about a TV show. They actually showed the original audition tapes of the cast members and how they got their roles, and it just was like cool to see how everything started out and how, you know, how they got their roles or whatever. And the biggest thing that I really enjoyed about the reunion was that they brought the original Aunt Viv back, y'all. They brought her in. You know, her and Will Smith hadn't spoke in 27 years. They had, you know, Aunt Viv, Janet Hubert. She used to drag Will Smith for years because she had this bitterness. She was so angry ever since she left the show toward Will. And I was so happy to see that they brought her on this reunion, and her and Will had a heart-to-heart talk. They made up. They said sorry. Janet basically explained to him what was the real issues of, you know, she said she wasn't never fired from the show. It was just a bad deal that they gave her after she had got pregnant on the show, and she couldn't accept that deal. So they basically just said, hey, well, we finna replace you. And she just felt like Will just didn't do what he should have done for her, that he wasn't sensitive at the time. And Will was like, you know, thinking back, you know, I wasn't sensitive. It took for him to have kids of his own to really understand what she was going through. She felt like she was blackballed in Hollywood. She was disowned by her family after she left Fresh Prince or whatever. She was in an abusive marriage and everything. She was going through a lot. So she said her and the cast didn't know anything about what was going on with her. Will didn't know, nobody knew. But she just basically told him, you know, what was going on, and it was just so nice. It was emotional. They made up. Will said sorry. She said sorry, and they're gonna have a good relationship here on out, hopefully. I'm just happy that after all these years, they was able to finally talk, and that was like the most beautiful thing about this reunion to me. And it was just, the whole thing was good. The whole thing was good. James Avery, they remember James Avery, who played Uncle Phil. They did a beautiful montage about, you know, his role on the show. Of course, he was Uncle Phil. He was the heart of the show. He basically, you know, everybody loved Uncle Phil. I mean, everybody loved James Avery. He was a wonderful actor too. And they just was explaining what he brought to the show, what he meant to everybody, and it was just so beautiful. It was so emotional. And that's basically it. They were just showing like behind the scenes. Oh, y'all, behind the scenes of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the table reads and stuff, some footage I had never even seen before either. And it was kind of cool to see, you know, how their tapings and everything was behind the scenes. And I really didn't know like how emotional, because I knew they were a family. Like the cast got that bond. I knew they developed that bond, but as a person watching the show at home, you don't get to see, you know, everything in, you know, behind the scenes. You don't see the relationships that they actually have built. And it was really, really emotional for them when they had, you know, ended the show. You know, because they were a family for 6 years, and it was just nice to see what they built together as a cast, and they became family. And I was just happy to see that. Like, the whole time I was watching this thing, the whole time I was watching, I was smiling. I had a smile on my face that whole hour, and I think it was on for like an hour and 30 minutes or so. I had a smile on my face the whole time. Like, I don't never smile this much when I'm at work, but when I was watching this reunion special, I was smiling. Y'all just don't know how excited I was to see it. And it's just, you know, with them and you know, the cat, and also about, you know, with Janet Hubert, they didn't know, the cast didn't know that Will was bringing, I'm sorry, it's getting dark, y'all. I'm parking back in the parking garage. But they didn't even know that she was coming on the show. Like, Will surprised them with that. And the new Aunt Viv, Daphne Maxwell, had never met Janet Hubert, the original Aunt Viv. They had never met until that day they met at until they met at the reunion. So I just thought that was so nice. It was so nice for them to come together. For them to come together and meet and bury the hatchet and stuff like that. So yeah, so y'all, if y'all have not seen the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion, y'all check it out. I'm pretty sure maybe it might even be on YouTube. I don't know. But if you don't have HBO Plus, I downloaded the 7-day free trial just to watch it. You could get rid of your trial before the 7 days so you won't get charged or whatnot. But I do encourage y'all, I'm not gonna give away the whole reunion, because for those who haven't seen it, I want to give y'all the opportunity to watch it too. But basically, I mean, and I left the fact that, well, see, I don't want to tell too much, but I mean, if you've seen it, okay, I'm not gonna tell the whole thing, but just take your time and watch it. It's really good. The show premiered 30 years ago this year, September 10th. And it was just beautiful to see that cast get back together and reminisce on the show and how the show impacted their lives. How it impacted my life too, because I used to love Fresh Prince. I still love Fresh Prince. Like I said, I'm a big fan. So yeah, I just had to get on here and tell y'all about that the Fresh Prince reunion was everything. It was beautiful. It was emotional. It was everything.